Hello and welcome to Learning Excel 2016. My name is Mike Henry and this is the fifth video from Chapter 9. In this video we're going to learn about finding the present value of a loan, and we'll also look at what we might need to put into a fund to reach a certain goal amount by the end of the investment period. So back to the scenario where we're borrowing money and using a loan. Last time we figured out the number of payments. We figured out that we were going to have to make extra payments to make our loan because we couldn't pay the actual amount that we needed to in our payments. And the bank came back and said, no, that's not going to work for us. So now we understand what we can do. We know we can pay $20,000 per quarter. We know what the rates the banks are willing to give us and the number of payments that need to be done here to make this happen in 5 years. What we don't know is how much we can actually borrow. Now, we're pretty sure that it's going to be under $400,000 because if you're paying less than what it should be, it definitely should be less than what you can borrow. So we need to figure that out, and we do that using a present value formula here. So you can see we put in a present value. I've already taken the time to load in all the other key parts, and we bring up again our function arguments. And here we've been through this enough times. You can see how I quickly pop in each of these pieces. Our payment over here, and our future value again is 0. So we put in the 0 right here. Again, we're going to use the default for the type. And you can see that we can only borrow $351,000. And that's what we expected. Because we're paying less money every quarter, we would get less money for the loan. So that's what happens here. We have the ability to borrow $351,000 to spend towards our business. Now back to our scenario where we're investing to the future. Last time we realized that we had to extend out how long it was going to take us to get to our goal of 1.8, and the marketing department said no, they can't wait that long, they need the factory sooner. So we go back and we look at what parameters we need to work with. We know we need 1.8 million. We know over here that we can only put in 55,000, and if we leave all the rate stuff the same, the only thing that we now can change is over here our initial investment. So we can go to our employees and we can say, hey, we'd like you to invest into our future. We can shake them down and get their lunch money. So we need to figure out how much money do we need to put in the initial investment, knowing we can only put in the 55,000 to get us to that 1.8. So this is working with our present value. We're going to change our present value to see if we can make it. And so we do the same thing here. And we put in, we've been through this enough times, we put in the rate, we put in the number of payments, which is back to that 18 months because we got to get there. We're still putting in our 55,000, and we still need 1.8 million to make this work. So if we do that, we need to come up with an additional $267,000 for your initial investment. Okay, you need to lift that 400,000 up to $667,000. Then you're earning that interest on that money 18 times for those 18 months to make up the difference of that 300,000, which is right there. So that's a pretty big initial investment. So we'll learn in this next video how we might change one other parameter. So this video, we found the present value of money. We found it both in a loan scenario of we know how much we can pay towards this loan, so we can figure out how much we can borrow. Some of you may use that someday when you're going out and looking at buying a home. The real estate agents will talk to you about how much money you can put away every month. They'll look at what you have for debt, and then they'll come back and say, you can borrow up to $100,000 or $200,000 towards your home. So this is how they'll use that. They'll do a present value calculation. And then the other one we did is we figured out if we could put more money away now, what would that mean in the future? And some of you may do that. Some of you might come in into some money. You might get a bonus check. You might get inheritance from someplace, and you might decide to take that and make that the building stone to your future retirement or a future goal of a second home or something like that. And you'll be able to use these present values to figure out what will you need to do your goal.